How's it guys, Munash here, and today we have the Summer of Pain Mr. Sinister lane. And to complete my science objective, I decided to use Void because I have already used him for this fight 2 months ago. Pretty simple fight, not difficult at all as long as you remove Dex and then parry the special ones to avoid the EMP modification damage. The only real difference between this fight and the one I did in week 2 is that this time I am using Suicide Masteries, since I don't actually need to use specials and I can't even use them in this fight because there's polka dot power. So I lose about 10% health from the Suicide Masteries, but I get an attack increase which allowed me to finish this fight about 25% faster or 2 minutes faster. So this fight took about 6 minutes. The only downside to using Suicides here is the health loss, because I did finish with a little bit of health left. All those special 1 parries do add up, and the interesting thing about this fight is the amount of damage you take can depend on the effects that he starts with from his Sig ability. I never actually looked at his Sig ability to check the numbers, but I know at max Sig that Mutant will increase his special attack damage by 30%, then both Science and Mystic increase his regen and combat power rate by 20%. Skill and Cosmic have flat numbers, so I'm not exactly sure what those are. Actually, I'm just not sure if it scales the same because the number that they give is 30% of his base attack. That's for Cosmic, which increases his attack. And then Skill is just increasing his crit rate. So that's actually the best one to get because if you don't get hit, then it won't matter. But I got 1 Cosmic, 1 Science, and 1 Mutant, which is not a bad mix, I just don't want to take too much damage. But with Void, you can at least play it slow, hit his block, and just let the debuffs do most of the work. So I had a low health finish, but not difficult at all, just had to heal up afterwards. Because then we get the Hydra Adaptoid, and this is actually a pretty good matchup for Void. Although again, it's not the most difficult fight, you can use several different champs for it. But what I liked about using Void, well besides the debuffs that can do damage without you touching him, is that he can also counter the power gain with his Petrify, which just makes the fight a little bit easier to manage when he does throw that special attack and gains the Unstoppable buff. Because usually you'd have to parry before hitting him to disable the power gain, and if it's a long fight, like you're using a bad counter, then Limber can be a problem. But with Petrifies, you don't have to do that, so it's a very comfortable fight with Void. I lost about 16% health, but of course most of that is just suicide damage. Once again, the key is to not throw special, so you heal with the special 2-lock, and then just hold block a lot so he's less likely to throw special attacks, so you just punish his heavy and combo enders. And then finally we have the Grandmaster with the inflation rule set, which means that you'll get an extra 50% attack for each token of competence. However, the Grandmaster will also have an extra 30% attack. So this is one of the easiest rule sets, which is a good thing for Void because he is the one champ that I'm using who can't apply a damage over time debuff. So I'm always gonna blunder for that in the second phase, which is fine as long as I don't do it 5 times. And just having that extra attack will make sure that I never have to go through 5 cycles in that second phase. Then the third phase is when things got a bit more interesting and some mistakes were made here. So first of all, I got the knockdown task quite a lot. I think I got it 3 times in the first cycle from the third phase. And I wasn't sure if I can just heavy punish him because I know with Nick Fury that didn't quite work. So I tried to use my special attacks to knock him down, but I'm running Suicide, so recoil hurt a bit there. And I didn't even notice this until I had about 10% health left after throwing 3 specials, so I felt a bit dumb after that. And yeah, I guess I'm just not that used to playing Suicides. I'm definitely not used to playing Void, period. This is actually the longest I've ever used Void for, but it's also my 3rd time using my rank 3 Void, so yeah. Not at all a suicide friendly champ, but I didn't have to use specials in the first 2 fights. I just forgot that against the Grandmaster in the 3rd phase you can get the same task more than once in the same cycle. So I would have been better off without suicides for the Grandmaster, but I just kept them on because I'm using suicide friendly champs for the rest of my paths. And I just wanted to try something a bit different for the fun of it. Either way, I don't know if I would have soloed without suicides because I was quite unlucky in that 3rd phase. I got all those knockdown objectives and also I placed 2 Petrifies on him after the 3rd phase began, so that just shuts down his passive power gain so he couldn't throw any specials. So I was getting a lot less tokens, which just makes the fight harder or longer. That's the one issue with using Void for the Grandmaster. Those Petrifies can make the fight a bit more difficult. And getting all those knockdown missions didn't help with my health loss, because I didn't know that Void can actually heavy punish the Grandmaster quite reliably. I tried it in the second fight and it worked, and that just made me feel even more stupid about the first fight, so yeah. Besides everything I just mentioned, it's a pretty standard Grandmaster fight. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Hope you guys found this interesting, and as always, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.